Hi and welcome back to Animal Liberation TV. So, I'm just at the very end of a little winter cold. That's if I sound a bit kind of like I've got a cold, that's why. But I got over it in a handful of days, several days, which was, I think, down to my new healthy eating and fitness regime. Well, I like to think it was. And I'm still injection free. Anyway, let's not go on about that sort of stuff. Right, so I wanted to make a short video, so hopefully I won't go on too many rants during this video. To mark the passing of 30,000 channel views, which you know, I can't believe it really. I mean, you know, if I look for a music video by a band I like and it's got 30,000 channel views on 30,000 views on a music video, I tend to think, oh, that's not many views. So all of my videos have got a combined thing. Well, I've passed 30,000 now. I've made a couple of videos before. I think I did one for 4,000 and one for 20,000. And rather than do another little music footage video, I wanted to say a personal thank you to everyone that's taken the time to watch the videos. And I'm going to talk about them a little bit in a minute. So I'm not going to talk too much about the channel and whatever else, because I'm going to do a little sort of chat, sort of assessment or something type thing of the channel so far, and also my personal circumstances in my appeals episode 2, part 2, where I'm asking for some funds to help me with my ideas, and that's going to help explain why I am looking for funds when I go through those appeal episodes. So I don't want to cover too much of what I'm going to say in that about the channel, but I've written down a few notes of things I do want to say here. So I mean, you know, 30,000, like I said, it's not much of a worldwide viewing, and some of the videos don't have many views, you know, a few dozen. So, you know, I'm not pretending to myself this is any great force, the channel. But at the same time, for me, you know, doing this project, me and my laptop, most of the time, it's just me and my laptop. You know, considering that's managed to get 30,000 views, considering it started off with me just having a look at the iMovie software inside my Mac, and I was like, oh, I've never used this before. I wonder, oh, this is quite. And I tried mashing a couple of things together on it, and it's quite easy to use. So, considering it just started off as a little curiosity, really, and then me thinking, oh, maybe I could make some animal rights videos and start a YouTube channel. So for me, 30,000 views is, I'm very proud of that. I find it surprising in many ways that people do tune into my stuff to some degree, and you know, yeah, I mean, I am proud of it because Well, I think the passing of 30,000, it feels like a little bit of a milestone for me. It feels that it means that there's some legitimacy to my channel. Uh, I think by now you've seen there's authenticity to myself in terms of my animal liberation philosophies and my ideas and what I talk about, and the stuff I talk about that I've been involved in or hint at or whatever. You can see that I'm genuine, that's for sure, I think. Um, so, yeah, credibility and legitimacy. And I think as part of that, the fact that this last few months I've been in negotiation, I can't say too much about any of it really, but with one very high profile YouTuber and a couple of TV company researchers. But I'm not going to say too much about any of those things because I'm waiting to hear back about lots of stuff, but I'm pretty confident that this year, in terms of wider publicity, animal rights and the animal liberation movement are going to get much more coverage this year overall. I feel like the movement is definitely still growing everywhere around the world, which hopefully I showed a bit in the last video, a global movement. So yeah, I have put a lot of thought, time, and effort into the channel. I have, and it wasn't that long after I started playing around with iMovie and doing the first couple of videos. Um, the lockdown started, and that first lockdown was, I mean, I still went out every day and saw my mate and did whatever I wanted, but not to the detriment of other people's health, but. Obviously, there was nothing to do for months, really, was there? It was an insane time, and it's still insane times for different reasons now. But yeah, so it became kind of a lockdown project, I guess, for me. And those early episodes, like the Mike Hill episode, podcast 2, the podcast 3 about Barry, the Jill one, the Angels of Mercy one. I did put a lot of time and effort into those episodes, a lot. I think the Mike Hill one, the podcast 2, that was like a whole week of me doing stuff every day, all day, sort of like a week's work, sort of thing. So I've put a lot of thought, time, and effort into it. I've tried to make it entertaining and interesting and varied. I mean, the animal abuse, okay, whew, but I have to put that stuff in, otherwise it doesn't make any sense, does it? Imagine if I took all the animal abuse scenes out, it'd just be like, what are these people doing this for? They're all mental. So you have to see the animal abuse because you have to see the reasons why people do what they have done, and whatever. It's really hard to edit it. It's really hard to watch it, and I have to watch it over and over again when I'm editing these bits and putting the things together. But it's keeping me, it's keeping me focused and it's keeping me fresh. I'll tell you, and it's keeping me on my toes because obviously I've been involved in the animal liberation movement since I was a teenager, and I had 15 years. I sort of took time out, as you know. If you follow my channel, you know all this stuff. So I kind of am kind of mostly capable of dealing with the situation, knowing the animal abuse is going on, and feeling frustrated and angry and depressed about that, and keeping some sort of compartments in my brain where I can deal with that stuff. And not letting it overtake my whole life and make me miserable all the time, which it could definitely do, couldn't it? But the animals don't need us to be miserable for them. They need us to be positive, and that's going to come with us being as balanced and sane as we can be in this world of animal abuse. So, yeah, I liked. I do kind of like to think that this channel is really for the connoisseurs of the animal liberation movement. If you really want to know what you're involved in and what it's about, then I don't think there's many other channels that really kind of provide what I do. I think it's unique. I do think this channel is unique. I've been quite cocky in how I've gone about it, and that's something I've got written down here that if I'd made one of these videos in the 90s, trust me, I'd have been arrested. If I did it openly, I'd have been arrested and charged with incitement. So it's still somewhat of a surprise to me that I've got this far, but this is a sign that we live in different times. And I'm not inciting people, but that's what the authorities always say, to try and get you banged up, because they don't like people knowing about the ALF or the Animal Liberation Movement. They don't. I mean, God, they hated anyone knowing anything about them back in the day. But we live in different times now, and I'm not inciting people, so there you go. It's a creative art project, and I'm telling the history. Um, so, yeah, I mean, you know what you're getting with this channel, don't you? You get me and these rants, and sometimes I go on tangents. One of my mates was, "You go on too many tangents," but everyone knows. Everyone that knows me and my storytelling knows I go on loads of tangents. My son finds it really annoying, and Brent used to hate it. That's, and I keep a lid on it on this channel. Trust me, I'm well behaved on this channel generally, in every sense. I really am. Um, there's things like this, my sort of my sort of cocky laughter, and my types of laughter, and then there's my swearing, of course, because some episodes in particular, I mean, the Spotlight on Vivisection 1, I think I swore a lot in that, and that's because I'd been spending a whole couple of weeks at that point editing vivisection footage from inside HLS Now LabCorp. And my head was, I was fried after that. Those few episodes of Spotlight on Vivisection, those were another series. The first few episodes in particular, I think they were lockdown episodes from what I recall. I put a lot of time and effort into those. I made quite a bit of the music myself for those as well. So yeah, you know what you're getting with this channel. You get my crazy rants. Not so crazy, really, are they? I mean, most of the time I stick to a fairly simple story, which is, animals should be treated fairly and given a chance, just like everything else that's alive, including humans, and we should all live in peace, love, and harmony. That's my ultimate goal. How we get there is perhaps a different matter, but yeah, and so I do swear on some of the episodes, swearing. But the reason when I swear is because there's a reason. I don't, I'm articulate and eloquent enough. I like to think that I don't need to swear. But sometimes that swearing is it's therapeutic for me. And quite a few times, people have said, "No, I like the swearing, Max. I like the swearing." I'm like, really? Some people say they like the ones where I'm talking, particularly, because I know there's quite a few of you that follow me, and I am really grateful for everyone that watches these episodes and follows. But I do think that I am. This is another point I've got here. That, along with the channel being unique, I think if you've watched every episode that I've put up here, you couldn't say, for example, that you've not learned anything about the animal liberation movement you didn't know before. You must have done, you must have done. So I do like to think that I've fulfilled the main aim of the channel, which is telling the history of the animal liberation movement. I like to think of that main aim. I've definitely fulfilled some of it, because there's no way, if you've watched every single video I've made, that you haven't learned something. There's no chance. So, oh yeah, so you know what you're getting. You get my rants and telling of the history. You get my opinions on some things, like the police giving Love and Libby back to MBR, which I'm still fuming about that, obviously. Jesus Christ. But anyway, so you get my opinions on various stuff, and you get little clips or longer ones or whole little videos with some sort of adrenaline pumping music, normally with scenes of animal abuse, to remind us what it's all about and bring it back to the animals, because they're the ones suffering. This is because we're human, we're separated from that suffering to a large degree, and that's where speciesism is, isn't it? So, and there's an argument that if you don't take action for the animals, you're a speciesist yourself. Barry would definitely say that, wouldn't he? So, talking about watching every episode and how much you would have learned, in my opinion, um, if someone was to say to me, "Oh, what's the best way to watch your channel, Max?" I would say, watch it from the first upload all the way through. And the reason for that is because of the developmental sort of stages of it all, and me remembering things and slotting different things in. So some of the videos with the lower viewings, like the Memories of Freedom and also the Huddersfield 4 trial, those have got some of the best bits of information. And so I would advise people to watch every episode and watch them from how I uploaded them, not in the series they come in or here and there. Watch every episode and watch from the beginning, because then you really will learn a lot. And because of the way I've opened up the stories and even the different series, it's kind of one continuous story and flow, really. So that's how I would recommend watching it. Some people don't like the music. Yeah, yeah, I'm aware of that. Well, whatever. I love all the music on it. So, and most of it isn't mine. Same as the stuff I show in imagery and stuff. 99% of it, 99.9% of it, I had nothing to do with. I'm very proud of everyone. You know, when I make this channel, I'm not showing off, going, "Oh yeah, I was in the ALF. Look at all this stuff." It's like I'm showing it as in, look at all these things, all these amazing people did, and I'm lucky. I feel honoured that I played my little tiny little role on and off here and there along the years. You know. But look at all like that American stuff. I was really inspired by that in the last global video. Really, when I won't say which bits I like best, but uh, so I think that's everything I wanted to say about it. Is that right? Yeah. So thank you, basically, to everyone for being interested. Because, and I don't say that because thank you for being interested in my YouTube channel. No, what I mean is thank you for being interested in the subject of animal liberation, because that means that you're probably concerned about what is going on to other species at the hands of humans, the human race. Um, it's probably moved you. It probably upsets you and worries you, makes you anxious, and disturbs you. You know, well, that's why people do watch my channel, because I give those people a voice. You know, I'm not saying there aren't other people doing that, but you know, I speak from the grassroots, um, and I think that authenticity and the fact that I'm very honest and open generally on this channel, too open and honest. I mean, I talked everyone through my ongoing court case and then the documents against me, which made me look like a right idiot. You know, but I like playing the idiot, as I've said before. So, thank you for people taking an interest in the suffering that is going on all around us, because it is overwhelming. You know, even though I feel like I can deal with it most of the time, there's moments, you know, where it really gets to me. You know, the idea that there's so much suffering going on. It's insanity itself. It is insanity itself, and we have to work forward together to stop this. We need to grow. We need to radicalise. I don't mean anything illegal, just a determined attitude. And we need determination and focus, and we need people to stick with it, you know. And we need people to take it seriously, basically, because that's how we're going to shut down these companies, not by anything illegal. We're going to shut these companies down, and the ramifications of each company that gets shut down on the network in each industry causes chaos, and basically will bring the industries down, because that is what we need to do. We need to destroy animal abuse. I don't mean anything illegal for the fucking umpteenth time, but we do need to stop it. It's there are days when I just yeah, you know, I'll think, right, I'm having 2 days away, not thinking about anything to do with animals, animal rights anyway. Um, and just try and enjoy life a little bit, because that way I will be able to go in a couple of days later with a bit of fresher energy again and not quite feeling so dismal about it, because it's so easy to get dismal thinking about that shit. Because for those of us that care, like, in quite a lot of my more recent videos, I've shown quite a lot of scenes of intensive pig farming. I mean, Jesus Christ, there's just billions of these pigs, isn't there, imprisoned across the planet so people can eat them. What the fuck is that about? I mean, I find that really disturbing, because to me, I see those pigs and I think each one of those pigs is like a beautiful little creature, and needs to live its life of freedom, scratching around, digging around, mooching about, having a cuddle, whatever, you know whatever pigs do. Well, I mean, they're bred for us, aren't they? So wouldn't be overrun by pigs if the world went vegan, of course, which is what they say sometimes, people. Anyway, so right, it's gone on much longer than I wanted to go on for, but I hope that this is the start of bigger things. I hope this channel does grow much, much bigger. But at this point, I think it's important milestone to say 30,000 channel views. Thank you very much to everyone for the interest on behalf of the animals, isn't it? And together our concern will lead to together us taking action, and together us having successes which will make everyone go, yeah, right, come on, let's keep going, let's keep pushing forward, onwards and upwards. Momentum. We need to keep the momentum. That means staying involved, being focused, being determined, carrying out clever tactics and strategies that work, that will see results. The closure of companies in the UK, one by one, nothing illegal. And that way we can start actually seeing practical signs of animal liberation taking place. So that's the message I want to give. Thanks, and let's keep going. In the meantime, everyone, take care.
The authorities are never going to stop us. As long as there's animal abuse, there's going to be people out there who aren't willing to tolerate it, who won't stand idly by while animals are tortured or murdered.